everyone, and welcome back to Lord Nemo Gaming. We're on part 3, the Norse campaign of Age of Mythology. I hope you've enjoyed the Egyptian and Greek. This is the next 8 levels. There will be another 2 videos after this. The next video will be the final Greek campaign, which is the remaining 2 missions. Then I'll upload the entire campaign in one video. It'll probably be about 12 or so hours. That will be a long one, but we are currently on the Norse. I do like the Norse culture in this game. I find this this campaign, these 8 levels, the best in the series, apart from the last level. The last level to start with is annoying, but it does get fun. But here we are starting the Norse. To start this mission, you are separated into 6 or 7 different areas. Be careful when uniting. All the forces, I usually unite them. The one with the ox cart. What I'm doing here is I accidentally clicked some buttons, and I was just being a bit annoying. But when you are combining the forces, there is enemies. Between you get the Fenris Wolf Blood, and there are multiple other wolves on the map, so just be a bit wary. I take everyone back to the ox cart, because that is where we will be building our town, just there. You'll see so there's another big wolf. They can get quite annoying in numbers. If you do have more than one in an army, they do add on extra attack and speed to each other. So if you do have an army of say 20 of them, they do get quite quick, and their attack ranges from 15 up to 40. It keeps fluctuating. But as you'll see here, the villagers don't actually they don't construct buildings. In Norse, it's done by the soldiers, the axemen, the Ulfsark, and the Hesers, which are the Norse heroes. You do train them at a temples in the Longhouse, but your gatherers and dwarves on this one, they do not construct buildings. They gather food, wood, and gold only. There is 2 different types. You got the gatherers there, which are the people. They are best to gather wood and food. You'll see that the dwarves, they are the best at gathering gold. You can only have a maximum of 5 dwarves, but they do gather gold quicker than the gatherers there. They can still gather food and wood, they just go a bit slower. So build your town centre here. You do have a couple of heroes there. You got Acanthos and Amanra for now. I don't think you have Ajax or Chiron at the moment. They do come. You do get them back a little bit later. They do come back. So we are Thor, and we are in the Arctic Age, and we can already build an armory. That's the Dwarven armory I was mentioning you about, and the additional weapons are Dragon Scale. It's T4 armor and weapons. It's only available through Thor. As I'm about to do here, I do wall off this area and the next one with those trees. I use those trees as the additional barrier, so I don't gather wood from those sections, I do move my villagers down to a more lush area of the trees, because you are going to get attacked by wolves and giants. This is where we do encounter giants, trolls, enigma. I think I pronounced that right, which we'll see soon. So the myth units are quite different to than what you're used to. So just build up those walls, wall off those two areas, so there's only a center point for them to attack through, which we can defeat them off. And this ridge here doesn't go anywhere. I just built my houses up there to get them out of the way. But to your drop-off points in Norse are those ox carts, so you will need one for wood and one for gold, so they don't continuously have to come back to the town centre. They just sit down there with the gold. That's where we're going to gather our wood, so we don't knock out these trees here and expose the enemies to easier paths. Now the main objective for this mission is you need to go down around and destroy 3 separate temples, as you see there, that are highlighted on the map. Each vary in difficulty. They're not overly hard. Some of the towns are pretty basic, and I think the furthest one away is the hardest. It does have hill forts and multiple of other units. So I do advise taking out that one last when you build up a large enough force. But again, the houses do go back to costing 40 wood instead of as they were in Egyptian, which they were free. Now the Earthsarks, they're quick. They are counter cavalry. The X-Men there are the counter infantry, and your raiding cavalry are counter archer. And just get enough supplies to go through to the next stage. As there you got the troll or the Valkyrie. A troll, his core power is good. You can invoke a healing spring, which will heal all units in the vicinity. You can, if your enemy does have a healing spring, and you can take it over if you get majority units. So just keep that in mind, that if they attack with a large force, they can take over your healing spring for the time being. And the Valkyrie there, it is a healing unit, so you can train a few of them up and heal your army through the battles. And her god power is the forest fire, which, if you see their villages or gatherers in a large forest area gathering wood, just invoke the forest fire, and it disrupts their production, and it wipes out the entire forest that they're working on. So we're not even in the second age, and we can already build the armory. And you can be in the classical and research all of the armor and weapons from the classical age. You do not need to go to the mythic age to get the final upgrade from the armory. You can do it all in the classical. So essentially you can have medium units with maximum armor. Now the fiery bolt that you do research from the armory, it only comes in effect for the ballistas. Seeing as Norse do not actually have archers, it only comes in effect for the ballistas, which you do access through the mythic age only. They're not available in the heroic, only the battering ram is. You can see that the healing spring was already healing injured units in its vicinity. It doesn't cover the entire map. It's probably a 10 meter or so radius that it will heal. So just keep that in mind. I won't heal units from halfway across the map. They need to be in the vicinity of the healing spring. Now that Dwarven Mind Power there, the further you go in through the age, the better it gets. So in the classical, it was only going to put out probably 1,500 or 1,000 gold. But if you save it all the way to the mythic age, it will have 6,000. So the longer you keep it, the stronger, the more gold it will provide. As we count, the boars do fight back. They aren't hostile. They won't attack you without being attacked. So if you do decide to attack a boar, it will fight back. They're the gatherers and dwarves. They get all they can do is gather and build a farm. They cannot build a single building. And you can upgrade them to an Earthslark from a gatherer if you need one quickly and instantly. It will transform them instantly. And it will cost the same amount as it was if you were to train one, and you do lose that gatherer. So we're going through the Heroic Age to Skadi, who does have the Frost Giant, which you will see for the first time. It's probably the strongest giant. You do have the Mountain, Frost, and Fire Giant. The Mountain Giant, as it's described, is a big thug who carries around a big, large baton or club. And his special attack is he does do a lot damage to buildings. He's very good against buildings. He's not too bad against units, but he's mainly used for buildings. Frost Giant is good against both. His special attack is he can freeze any infantry. Can't freeze heroes, but he can freeze a throwing axeman, a raiding cavalry, or a jarl, or any type of myth unit. And then you do have the Fire Giant, which is good against, same as the Frost Giant, it's good against everything. Its special attack is it creates a ball of fire and just throws it at a building or an enemy, and the fire will bounce off. So it does do area damage. So just be mindful if you see the Frost Giant rolling up a big ball of fire, it's about to throw a ball, and it will bounce off the ground, bounce off buildings. So it will do area damage. There is a way to get all. I think it's through Hell at the Mythic Age. So if you are deciding to get all three giants, and you are able to research Hell at the Mythic, that god does provide all three of the giants in one go with additional health and training reduction times. So I'm just training up a couple of trolls. In numbers, trolls are very powerful. They basically just throw rocks at people, and you do upgrade them to a hammer troll, which gives them an additional head. The Frost Giant does have an upgrade to Frost Giant of Time, which it kind of looks like a King Falstag, but a smaller version. It's got the horns and additional health and damage. It does do. So that's our first encounter with Enigma, or however you pronounce them. Their special attack is they do have a horn, which basically boosts morale in your army. They are good against buildings, mainly. I don't really like that unit. I tend to steer away from it. Mostly, I don't find it that effective. As you see in the Hill Fort, you build the Battering Rams, the Jarls, and the Huskars. The Huskars are counter archers again, but there is an upgrade for them to be very effective against buildings. They do have good armor, good health, so essentially they're very well-rounded unit. Takes us all there with the first village. It wasn't that strong. Knocked it over pretty easily. Then just bring your units back to your healing spring. Heal them up if you don't have a healing spring. If you've got Valkyrie, just use them to heal up some units. Train additional and go siege the next one. Upgrade your units to where you want them. Frost Giants will continue to attack. On moderate, they just come at singles, so it's not too hard. The battering rams, they do get an upgrade in the mythic. Their attack does increase to 60 rather than 40, and they do have very high arrow absorbency, but their hack armor is only 5%, so swords and axes do chop them down fairly quickly. But they can take a hell of a bunch of arrows from a tower or a town centre or a hill fort. But through a myth unit that doesn't have range, it will die pretty quickly. Earth Sarks will also continue to attack. They also do have low pierce armor, so they don't survive too long against towers. But as always, if you do go off with your large force, keep a small one behind, because situations like this will come in handy. Except the Mountain Giant is doing a fair amount of damage to the battering rams. The Hessers, they're very strong against myth units. They're strong against anything, really. They're a very well-rounded unit as well. And as I would have mentioned, if you do go Loki, and you do have like 20 or so of them, and you are in battle, quite a large battle, you will notice that random myth units will spawn to your aid. That's the benefit of Loki. His says are stronger, quicker, and do have that ability to summon myth units after a long battle. They're in battle, and suddenly a Frost Giant or a Mountain Giant will appear to your aid. You don't lose that Hesse. You keep it. It's just an additional unit that gets summoned through the battle. So this is the second temple I go through. Again, it's a weak one. I don't think there's too much in this one to worry about. A couple of giants which your heroes will take down quickly. Use your battering rams to destroy the hill fort. So that's the Frost Giant special ability. It freezes an infantry unit, and that unit's frozen for about 10 or so seconds, and it's unable to attack. If you do go through Skadi, you do have that god power there, the freeze god power, which will freeze a large area of units. It won't freeze buildings. It will only freeze units for about 50 seconds. But be mindful, if you do freeze them, their armor goes up to, I think, 99% on pierce and hack. So you can really only deal 1 damage to them. But if you have a large force, you can knock out a few units before they thaw out and are able to attack again. So that second town there, fairly weak. A hill fort and a temple. And then, again, just go back to your town. Heal them up before we assault the next one, which does have a town centre, and is quite a larger town to start with. You are restricted to the heroic age, so you cannot get champion units. You can get heavy, and being Thor, you can access every armor upgrade. So if you are worried about not having the full armory, you can access the entirety from Thor's Dwarven armory. It is a nice looking building, as you see the big pump going out down into the furnace, pumping out all the molten lava to create the weapons. obviously with the third upgrade finish, you would have seen in the armory there a fourth upgrade appears. Those they are dragon scale upgrades. So usually your heroes would end at 69% armor. The additional upgrade you get there does push them up to 72%. So it's an additional 4% armor, which instead of the enemy doing 10, they'll go down to 8 or 7 damage that they will inflict. So every little bit counts. There is an additional upgrade after that, which we will see in this mission. It's only available in this one mission, which I think increases your hero's armor up to into the 80s. It's a specialty upgrade only available in this one mission, which I think is next. So I do upgrade that, so we will see the complete maximum you can get your heroes to. The last building is a little bit out of the way. There's no resistance on the way through. I just ran into that Earthzerg who was scouting. Again, it's going to be walled off. The downside to Norse is they only do have the stone wall upgrade. The wall that you're seeing that is the complete upgrade that they can have. You can increase the hit points through your town centre, but they don't have a fortified wall, or you never would have seen in the Egyptian. The Egyptian does have a 4th tier upgrade on the wall, the Citadel wall. It's a larger, more health wall, but being Norse, they only do have access to the stone wall, and their watchtowers, they do not have guard watchtowers or ballistic. They do max out at watchtower only, so there's only one upgrade to the sentry, to the watch, and you won't get another guard tower upgrade. You can still upgrade the boiling oil, and those are usual upgrades, but watchtower is the maximum upgrade for Norse. Same with the stone wall. That is the maximum upgrade. The Norse buildings are weaker than the other cultures. They don't have as much health, but I just find the variety of units a lot better than the Egyptian and the Greek. And I do like how military personnel can construct buildings. So if you're in that base and you're running out of units, you take a throwing axeman or an Earthzerg back just outside the walls, and you can quickly construct a longhouse or a hill fort in that area, and you can train units from just outside their walls instead of having to bring a villager over, which will take 20-30 seconds, and in that time of them travelling, you've lost more units. Whereas with Norse, I can construct a town centre right now without even bringing over a gatherer. I do like that in the Norse, that their military personnel are the ones that construct the buildings. So once you've knocked out that town centre and the hill fort, there is a little section back here. There's an armory. As you continue on, there is houses and a market. Their market unit is an ox cart. Again, it's the same as every culture. It's got the same health, same speed. It just, being Norse, as an ox, as it fits the culture that we're in. A couple of houses here. Pretty sure there's a market just down there where I'm about to head. And as soon as you destroy the temple, you finish the mission and move on to the next one, which I do believe you encounter 2 additional heroes that are only available in the Norse. You see Amanra, she continues on with you to the end, basically, whereas the next two heroes we're about to encounter, they're only in a couple missions. Now this is the mission that I was telling you about, where you do get there, basically the 5th tier upgrade for your heroes. So we'll just watch this cutscene and be introduced to the 2 new dwarven heroes that you do get. We get introduced to Eitri and Brooke. They are dwarven heroes. They're not the best heroes, but they're actually not too bad. To be honest, just as you're about to build this, the troll, they're up on the ridge. Ajax and Chiron, as you can see, have rejoined us. So we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 5 or 6 heroes in our possession now. Which we've got 6 heroes there. You would see with Eitri and Brooke, they can build farms. They are essentially dwarves, so they can mine gold, chop wood, and gather food. If you're running low on a certain resource and you can't train someone, they can gather as well. So the main mission on this one is to recapture that Dwarven Forge for Eitri and Brooke, so they can construct Thor's hammer, basically. It's not too difficult, this mission. As soon as you do get to that Dwarven Forge, as I said, it does unlock a T5 upgrade that you can use to aid your heroes. It does pump them up quite considerably. For this mission, you'll mainly need heroes and a couple of throwing axemen. You can get siege units, because on the way to that forge, you do go through a town which has towers, hill forts, houses, etc. But you don't run into much resistance. So I mainly just trained the Hessiers, which you would have seen if you do click on one. They do have funny names, like Crack Nickelbottom or something funny in that sense. Where I'm going here, there is a relic. It is guarded by a couple of trolls, which against our there's a mountain giant there. I'm pretty sure there is a couple of trolls up there, but against our campaign here, they don't do anything. This is where Eitri and Brooke do have low health and attack, so they can get against a mountain giant. They may lose, but if they do win, they're basically going to be dead. So they don't have the biggest attack or health to begin with. This section here, there is a boulder wall there that eventually does just disappear. But the main point of entry that you want to go through is this one right here. You will have to go into the caves, which there are a couple of towers here and there. As you're walking around, there is a cave entry behind you, which I do wall off, just prevents them coming and attacking from behind. I'm pretty sure that's the only 3 points of entry. If you keep going left, you do come across some water, which you can build some fishing vessels. You can go in by sea. There is an area that allows you to go by sea up the side there, but you will encounter naval resistance. You will come in contact with the Germod Elva, which is quite powerful against boats and heroes, actually. I think I did have Chiron attack one, and it almost did kill Chiron. It does 40 damage, but against heroes it still does about 20 damage. Against heroes it is quite a good naval myth unit, which Norse can get. The same with the Kraken. They probably do get the two best naval myth units in the Kraken and the Germod Elva, as they are extremely powerful. So just build up your temple. I don't think I went past the classical age, to be honest, because I mainly wanted to build heroes. I didn't have any myth units, I don't think, coming along with me. I don't think I ever built siege units. I just built a whole bunch of heroes and just kept these Earthsucks behind. As you'll see in the Arctic Age, your Earthsucks and your Hessiers only do like 2 or 3 damage. So as soon as you do get the classical age, they do bump up their damage quite considerably. So the trolls here, are in 1 or 2 numbers. They're annoying. They're not that powerful. But when you do come up against 10 or 12 of them, they do get quite strong. So the more trolls you see coming at you, the harder it's going to be. Mountain giants, 1-on-1, your campaign heroes will knock them down. If you do come up against a few of them, they can go quite good. So the Furnace Wolf Broad, 15 damage, probably 4.8 speed. But if you come up against an army of 10 of them, their speed can increase to about 7 or 8, and their damage will fluctuate from 15 up to 40. At 1 second it's at 20, then the next one it's at 28, then it'll go back down to 16. So it continuously fluctuates. The mountain giant and 2 trolls here, they don't really do anything. So just build up your force. I do advise mainly Hessiers, because you are going to mostly encounter myth units. Being Thor again, you can fully upgrade it from the classical. So that's why I think I just stayed at the classical, because I can access all the armory upgrades without having to spend my resources and going to heroic and mythic age. I found that as a bit of a waste of resource, knowing that I was only going to train the Hessiers. I can easily get them to maximum armor and not so maximum strength, as when you do go through the ages, their strength and health does go up, but I can keep their armor at hack and pierce armor at a maximum level. So build up a little force on the way there. As I mentioned, you are going to come up against watchtowers and I think of a hill fort, a couple of houses. Just quickly knock them down. I don't think they have boiling oil research, so as soon as you get close enough, the tower will stop heating. To build up a couple of your Norse heroes that you can from the Longhouse and Temple. You do know that they do train slower than normal units, so pump them out from a Longhouse and a Temple, and you train them twice as quick. As you see there, I do have a few of the Norse heroes ready to assault. I don't think I got any Axemen or anything in there. The only rage unit I do have there is Chiron. I was going to gather gold from there, then I realised that's the path they come down, so I just gathered this large one here. Otherwise it's just going to cause a nuisance. You can go up and destroy their base. Behind the Dwarven Forge is where their main base is. It is a bit of a mission to get through, as they do have ballistas and a fair few towers, trolls, giants. So if you do enjoy this level, you can go and assault them. If you are going to do that, go up the side path to the right there, because as soon as you get past the Dwarven Forge and destroy all those units, the countdown will begin. You need to protect the forge for some time. So if you do want to assault the giant's base, go up the side route, come in through the side, so then you don't have to go through the Dwarven Armory and start the countdown. Because once that countdown starts, I think it's about 10 or so minutes you need to protect the forge for, which it is quite easy. If you do have the lineup that I do there, I can research the Valkyrie. I think I do bring a Valkyrie in later on, so she can just continuously heal. My heroes do maximum health for each wave. You see that spitting coming from the ocean? That is the Germod Elva. It is doing high damage. It is a ranged unit. It is very quick. So I'll just use Chiron to defeat it. Otherwise, it will take out a few of your Hessians here and there. As you can see, it's doing a large amount of damage to Chiron. It did do over 200 damage to me, and myth units are not effective against heroes, and that one is quite effective against your heroes. So if you do come up against an army of them, and you only have heroes, I do advise get out of there, because it will take down a considerable amount of your army, and being a ranged unit, only Chiron in this mission will be effective. So it will take a bit of time. Just keep an eye on your ox carts with wood. You will need to continuously move it down to where the villages are, so then you do gather the wood quicker. They don't have to walk as far, so just keep that in mind with your wood. They will venture away from the ox cart every now and then. You just move it closer. It makes you gathering wood quicker. Couple of trolls, and a mountain giant defending it. And you will see the fire giant in a minute. It will spawn through the lava in the middle of the forge. That's the final giant. You will see it's the weakest health out of them all, but the second best giant. If so there's a fire giant there. As you see, that is the 5th tier armory upgrade. It looks the same as the dragon scale, but it's an additional add-on from the dragon scale through your dwarven armory. As you can see, giant slaying blades and whatnot. Research them, because they do add a large upgrade to your heroes. It will make them better against attacking myth units. It is the only time you do have access to the 5th tier armory upgrade, so I do advise taking advantage of it. Now, if I had to put all 3 fire giants to battle each other, I do believe the frost giant would win, being as it does have the ability to freeze. So if it was going to be against the mountain giant, it would freeze it straight away. Do 300-400 damage. The mountain giant would get in a couple of hits, and then the frost giant would just freeze it again. Same with the fire giant. So if you put it into perspective, I do believe the frost giant would defeat the 2 other giants. They're at 63%. And going on to the T3 in our armory upgrade add-on, and the T5 in the Dwarven Forge upgrade, which they do get up into the 80s in their Pierce and the Hack armor. The main heroes, the Hessiers, get to about the 50s, 60s. So from this point in the mission, you got to defend the area for 10 minutes. So just keep your units in that one central point. They will continuously attack with trolls and giants and ballistic units, the ballista. So just keep it a central point. Have a couple of Valkyries so they can constantly heal your units without having to train anymore, and you can use that resource to upgrade your units in the armory and go through the heroic age if you want to, but I'm pretty sure I just stay on the classical. As you see there with Ajax, he's not fully maxed out, and he's already at 76% without the T4 from our Dwarven Forge added on. And the Hessiers get up to 63, they get up to about 65% armor, which for a standard non-campaign hero is actually extremely high. You don't really need to keep an army back. I do have the Earthsirks there. I did train them. You get them at the start of the mission. Just keep them back. There's 8 of them there. They will do some damage to whatever comes through. Constantly, those wolves will act as scouts. Again, like the Hebigans in Mission 6, they won't attack. They're just a scout that will run through your village. Constantly respawning, so you kill one, another one will turn up in a couple of minutes. So you don't really need to kill them. They're just scouting your base to see what you got. But at this point, where we're at in the mission, on moderate, we've pretty much won it. It does get difficult on Titan. They do attack quite frequently. Your town and the forge. As you said, those 3 forges there do have health. One of them needs to survive. You can repair them, but basically one of those forges need to survive. If all 3 get destroyed and you got 1 second left, you will lose. You're about to get the heroes up to maximum armor that you have access to in the entire campaign. He's got the Ajax, he's at 80%. He's going to get to about 82, 83%. Hack, and his Pierce is going to get to about 72, 73. And the Hessier is there, 68%. Actually, which is extremely high. And the additional upgrade, the weapon upgrade in that Dwarven armory, they do I guess a real amount of additional damage there. As a Hessier, they're just done about 60 odd damage. Usually then they do about 20. That's the ballista I was talking about. It's not too bad against buildings. it is extremely effective against units, surprisingly. So if you are in Norse and you do go on a siege and they do have a large army, if you've got ballistas, 2 or 3 ballistas at the back, they'll actually aid you quite well. They do get about 28 range at maximum, so they can still attack buildings. They're not as strong as catapult or the battering ram, but so they can still destroy buildings. They're just not as effective. So you can say that they're a siege unit in that sense, but they're more effective against infantry units than they are to buildings. See, the house has max armor 71%, extremely high. Earthquake 63%. I wait until I click on the heroes. I'm pretty sure they're put about at 82, 83, 82% hack armor, 72% pierce. I don't think I've finished the pierce upgrade, so I think they go up to about 75. No, I have finished the pierce. That's the maximum armor you can have for your campaign heroes. 82% hack and 75% pierce. A bonus damage to myth units. T5 armory upgrade. The complete maximum armory upgrade that you can obtain in this mission. Normally the hero's armor is 80. To put in perspective, is 69%. Is usually the maximum armor they can get without Thor. So these 2 extra tiers of armor as added on to the hack, an extra 13%, and to pierce an extra 6%, which is quite high when dealing with large forces. So I do advise, if you are with Thor and on this mission, do upgrade those in the armory, because they are going to work out very well. Two SAs and 7 Earthquakes, they're easily dispatched of a mountain giant. Without the additional upgrades, I'll probably still be back there battling. So even though Earthquakes are doing 30-40 damage to a mountain giant, which is quite high for a standard infantry unit, this is just a little small mini base that they have. As you see, 5 giants, 80% pierce armor and 60% hack, so they do have quite good armor. One of them probably could take down a town center. I'm not saying it would, but there is a high possibility that it would take down a town center by itself, as each hit is doing about 30-40 damage to the town center, even though it says it does 10. I believe it. I think it said. Which is very weird, because it's not doing 10 damage. So that's the special attack just there. If they were gatherers or dwarves behind where it was gathering wood there, they would get hurt. And if there was any buildings, they would also get hurt. As you see, it says fly to the ground for a little bit. It does do a large area damage when he does that. But just send a couple of units back like I did there. Quickly destroy it, get rid of the ballista, then we've got about a minute and a half until we're done. So the mountain giant, 1400 health, it barely survived 3 seconds with the additional upgrades that I do have. Same with trolls. 1-2 hits, they're dead. And Chiron, bang, 150 with his special ability. It didn't last long at all. And then when that 40 seconds is up, yeah, you move to the second one. I can't remember if you do keep Brook and Eitri. They do come and go here and there in this campaign. There might be a stretch of 2 missions where you don't access them, and then they come back later on. There is a third campaign Norse hero which we do come in contact with, which I believe it is a range unit. I think it is the best campaign hero that you do come in contact with, other than Chiron and Ajax. Yeah, she is basically a Valkyrie, an unmounted Valkyrie, throws spears and can heal. Does have high damage and health, so she is quite a very good hero. Once the countdown runs out, the mission ends and we move on to the next one. So this mission, it is time-based. Skull in the flag bearer do need to stay alive. We've lost Eitri and Brook for now. Yeah, they'll come back a bit later. On your way to where you need to go, you will encounter this mission isn't entirely frost and mountain giants, no fire giants. I did do this mission twice. I deleted the first run through. Throughout the entire map there is temples and giants hidden around the map. I remember this mission and I thought destroying those will make it easier at the last sequence, which I won't spoil at the moment, but it didn't work. It's still the same scenario happened, so I basically just restarted and didn't do what I was doing. But keep Skull and the flag bearer back where I am with your hoplites. Don't bring your hoplites through at this point. You will need them a bit later on, so take your heroes and and you're throwing axemen as that additional help, as coming up against giants 4 or 5 at a time. They do a bit of damage, and we don't have a healing unit with us, as Mana is about to die. Frost giants, they're quite deceiving. I believe they do the most damage to a hero. It does say they only do 18, but they absolutely do not do 18 damage. They do quite a considerable amount of damage to a hero, to any unit really. They are quite a deceiving giant. They don't look powerful, but I do believe they are the most powerful giant out of the 3, as they have high attack. They're the only giant with an extra upgrade. Mountain and Fire Giant don't have an extra upgrade. Frost Giant does. Frost Giant of Time, which I don't remember if I did upgrade through this rundown, but they basically get horns on the top of their head, with additional attack and health. So build your town centre up. There is a section of pigs, which I will show you. I do advise getting, because it will save you costs without having to build any farms. Everything you need here. The giants will continuously come and attack. Down those 2 side paths to the right there, you would have seen that little small fence. That's where you want to go after the first wave of giants have come through, which they're coming through right now. So don't leave just yet. Kill these giants off first, and then we'll move down. Keep Skull and the Flag Bearer to the back. I just use my hoplites there to start attacking that boulder wall, as the boulder walls are quite strong. The first time through, I tried to do it without siege units. You will need battering rams to get through in time, so you will need to get to the railway gauge, preferably as fast as possible. So as I'm going down here, you got that little boulder, rock wall there. There is a fair few pigs in there. I do advise going down and getting all these pigs, as over time they do fatten up. They started at 100 health, and over time they do get to 300. So rescue the pigs. There's 10 there. So 10 at, say, 150, 200 each. You're going to get a couple thousand food out of them without having to resort to the farms. If you continue down those side paths, you're just going to encounter giants and temples, which, as I mentioned, if I destroyed them, I thought it would make the end sequence a bit easier, but it didn't. I don't believe you can actually hold off the end sequence. You do need to run away. Your town will be destroyed, so don't worry. When the end sequence does happen, your town will be destroyed, but your main objective here is getting Skull and the Flag Bearer, and obviously your heroes to a safe point. So quickly build up a force of heroes, just as that added protection. As your 4 heroes there, they may take down the 3 or 4 giants that come by, but over time they're going to get worn down and they will start dying. Again, we're not with Thor, so we don't have access to the Dwarven Armory anymore. We just have the basic armory, which is doesn't have a dragon scale weapons or armor upgrades. So get to the heroic age as quick as you can. Get a couple, 2 or 3 battering rams and start destroying that boulder wall, because at a certain point, there is no timer, but at a certain point the end sequence will trigger, which you will see. You can't hold it off. You could only probably hold it off with cheats, but if you're just doing what I'm doing here, you cannot physically train enough units to hold off the attack. I've tried a couple of times, and being even on moderate, it is hard. So being on Titan, it's 3-4 times as difficult as it's going to be. So quickly train up. You can just get to the heroic age, construct that hill fort, get some battering rams, and destroy the section of the boulder wall so you can escape. The in sequence has just begun. This is where it gets interesting. As through those two side passages are a large number of mountain and frost giants. Again, no fire giants, only mountain and frost. So knock that boulder wall out as quick as you possibly can, because it's going to get a bit nasty very soon. And gradually get closer. It takes about 1 or 2 minutes to actually get to your base, and Gargarensis will invoke an earthquake, which will flatten your town, basically. 3 large armies of giants coming towards us. Get your heroes and Skull and a flag bearer ready to run, basically. you are going to encounter giants on the way, but try and hold them off in the town as long as possible. So as you can see, the earthquake just flattens your town, every building destroyed as the giants raid, trying to kill Skull and the flag bearer. A couple of giants here, Frost and Mountain. Quickly take them out. So you're back at the village. You cannot possibly take that army on. It's too powerful. If you had a bit more time, maybe, but you've only got probably 10 minutes to build up a large enough force to actually make it worthwhile. I just invoke the Walking Woods. If you're unfamiliar with that power, it turns any trees in the vicinity into allies. As you can see, they're not too bad. You can't control them. You don't have physical control of them. They are allies, but you can't tell them where to go or who to attack. They've got a mind of their own, and they'll just stay in that vicinity. So as long as the giants are occupied back at your village, the better. They'll destroy everything that's there. Then they'll come up this path to take you out. But at this point in the mission, we're pretty secure. Because look at that. I want to imagine it's probably 20 mountain giants and another 10 frost giants, which your heroes will have absolutely no chance against. So this mission, it's all about running away. And as the side areas do produce your line of sight, they're the multiple temples and giants I was telling you about. I thought killing them off will reduce the end sequence, but it does nothing. So that's why I restarted and started again, because I actually failed the first time. I thought I could get through without siege units, but I was wrong. As soon as you bring Skull, your heroes, and the flag bearer to this point, mission's finished. The giants will slowly make their way up to where you are here, but as soon as you get there, we move on to the next one. Yeah, this mission, I think it took me about 10 or so minutes. Make sure Skull and the flag bearer do not die. You instantly get champion units, Toxitaes, and throwing axemen. You don't need to destroy that dog, I just do anyway. Construct your tell your throwing axemen to I think you need to build 5 towers. You just build 5 towers on each point that I am. As you go on, you do get more resources to build more towers, but you don't actually need to build towers. I do recommend when you do build a tower, tell Skull to go hide in one. That reduces the chance of him getting destroyed in the battles that are about to happen. As I do there, just tell him to go hide in one of the towers. Do what I'm doing with the healing spring. Put it directly in the middle, because that's going to be where you are now. Is the main point of where the battles are going to happen. The flag bearer, don't hide him. You need him to lure out the 3 armies in this map. But again, it only takes 10 or so minutes. Just build these towers up like I am here, and then as soon as you do that, goes on to the next point. As you see, there's 3 different armies. They do have their own separate units. When you finish the first one, as you see, they're only in base, and then you go to the next one. They'll go to a medium or a heavy unit, and then the final army that you gather out will be all champions. Your main objective here is to destroy the hero. It is a standard Hesse hero, but with increased health. As you see in there, it's got about 250 health, I think. As soon as you destroy that hero, you take control of that army, which is what you're going to need as it gets further on. It gets a little bit more difficult. So what I do here, tell your flag bearer to run back to the main point, grab your Toxotes, now find the hero, and basically instruct your Toxotes to only target the hero, because as soon as he dies, you take control of the remainder of the army. As you see here, I just got the Toxotes, just take aim at that hero straight away. You might lose 1 or 2 Toxotes here and there, but as you're about to see, he's about to die. Then you take control of the remaining forces. So he goes down, then every unit you're just battling instantly becomes yours, and you do get wood and gold. And now these units have upgraded to heavy, and the final one you go down will go to champions. There's no set order you need to go in. You can go to whichever one you want. If you want ballistas first, go to the green one. There's no set order you need to attack them through. You just need to kill the 3 main heroes, and you end up with a possibly 100-200 unit force. So you just tell him to go straight up to the gate. Make sure the hero does move before you run back. The flag bearer does regenerate, and he does have high health, and he is quick. So make sure he doesn't die. Again, tell your Toxotes to run around the side or wherever, target that hero. This mission, 10 minutes, if that, to complete. I think I'm at about 6 minutes now, and I'm almost done. So again, once he dies, you take control of his army. I've got 240 population. That wolf, he will not transfer over, but he basically becomes a neutral unit. He won't attack it, and you can't attack it. Same with that Earthsirk there, he's just a neutral unit. So don't worry too much about them. You know, they've upgraded to champions. This is the last point. You need the flag bearer, so I just hit him in one of the towers, because this battle, the final battle of this mission, does get quite hectic. So being the last one, I just had a little bit of fun and just tried to basically destroy as many units I didn't tell anyone to attack the hero, just let them go on their own accord, because being the last one, I was going to win anyway. I got the larger force. And you don't need to control this army. As soon as the hero's dead, the mission's completed. So I just had a little bit of fun. I just let my units go nuts, destroy whoever they wanted, kill the hero whenever. And as soon as you finish that hero, bang, you finished in under 10 minutes. On Titan, this one's really not that much different on Titan. It's the same concept. We'll move on to 26, which it's not a bad level. It's not the most fun. So this is a mission we do get introduced to the third Norse hero, Regan Leaf. As you can see, their stats are already quite high. She does have a healing ability of a Valkyrie. Heals quicker than a Valkyrie. High damage, high armor already. She is quite a good hero. Again, this mission is quite basic. You're only going to need myth units up until the end. I mean, not myth units, heroes up until the last sequence. Again, just instruct your dwarves to do the gold, and your gatherers to go off and do that. To start with here is easy. They're only going to attack you with trolls, and you having, I think, 5 or 6 heroes already, it's going to be extremely easy, because trolls against the heroes you have here. You don't have Eitri or Brook back. I think they come back in the next level, so you do go up to about 7-8 campaign heroes, which is the maximum amount you do have in the Norse. You do have the maximum amount of campaign heroes. Apart from Setna, which you would have seen in the Egyptian, you only have him for 3 or 4 levels. He's extremely useless. So build up your forces. You're going to want to go destroy that underworld passage, which is guarded by trolls. It will unlock more dwarves and a whole bunch of gold mines. Again, me being on the extended edition, they did increase the dwarf capacity past 5. But if you're playing on the older version, you do only have access to 5 dwarves. But being on extended, available on Steam, you can go past 5 now. We just take our 5 main here. You don't need any hairs with you. Going through here, you're only going to encounter trolls, and you're going to beat them relatively easy without taking too much damage. And if you do Regan Leaf there, she can heal. Being a Valkyrie, she can heal quite quick, so there's no reason to send through your Shield Maiden Valkyries or invoke the Healing Spring here. Save that for a bit later. these trolls, they're not going to cause any damage. And you slowly chip away at that the underworld passage. Do it first. Defeat those trolls as quick as possible, because it will open up more dwarves for you to have. There's 6 or 7 dwarves held captive in here. So as soon as you knock down that underworld passage, it unlocks them, so you can mine gold extremely quick in these caverns. And then it unlocks the second stage of the level. So make sure you do have wood at your disposal, because you are going to need to construct some watchtowers. So have a couple of earthworks ready to go. So you need to build 5 or 6 towers at one point, and it will constantly be attacked by trolls and ballistas. So have some wood earthworks at your ready. Slowly chip away at the underworld patches. This bit here is very easy. On Titan, and I think hard, where I've got my dwarves mining now, trolls will come down that way. As you'll see, the army that they give me after defeating the underworld passage, I keep them back and keep them up in that the entryway, because I thought they were going to attack from that area, because I was used to it, doing it on the harder difficulties. They do come through that way, which is why I kept that army back. But being a moderate, they didn't. But it's always good to have extra defensive measures in place. The trolls will continue to spawn until that underworld passage is destroyed. So as soon as you destroy it, the trolls will stop spawning in that cavern. And there's probably about 30,000 gold to be mined in there. So just move to the left as I'm about to go, and you will see some dwarves behind that little fence. Destroy the fence and you gain access to those 6-7 dwarves. And just immediately tell them to mine the gold, because as you see, there's a bunch of gold to mine in here. 6, 12, 18. There is 30,000 gold to mine in here, and I just kept this army back. Which is why I left that gold mine straight away, because I was confident that the trolls were going to come down that way, and they just become a nuisance. But for the next session, do have wood at your disposal. We are Thor again, so we are open to the Dwarven Armory once more. You probably would have noticed that you can't build houses until you complete the tasks that are required. Which when you do get extra population room. So at the moment you're limited to 85 population until you do move to the next task. But for these first 2 tasks, you only need heroes. So I kept this army back, because I was confident that they were going to come and attack me. They never did. So being on moderate, you don't need to keep that army back there. On hard and Titan, I do recommend keeping an army back, because the trolls will come down that way, and they will cause a nuisance. second task. You needed to construct some towers for the neighbouring village. Doing so will access more population room. On those little flags that are on the ground, you need to construct the towers. They will constantly attack with giants and ballistic towers, as you can see there. So just build those towers up. You can go destroy that little army that keeps coming down. There is a passage on the left side that goes up. You'll run into a sentry tower, a hill fort, and a temple. If you do destroy that, these attacks will cease for now. Them being the neighbouring village, you do not have control of them until you do construct those towers. So as soon as you construct those towers, you do get access to that army and that little village there. I don't know why I sent through one Earthcirc. He does build quite slow. I do lose 1 or 2 towers. But if you do want to cease their attacks, send that army that you do have protecting from the trolls. Send that along. Go up the left-hand side of the path and go destroy their hill fort and temple, and it will stop the units from coming down and attacking this village. As you see with my resource counter, my gold it's going off the charts. 14 gatherers on gold. It's going extremely quickly. Again, they'll continuously attack. Frost giants, mountain giants, ballistas will come down. I don't know how that hero did not die. Extremely sort of 1 health. You may lose all the army that the allied village has. So if you do want to protect them, build as quick as possible. Don't build slowly like I am there. It's kind of weird that you do need to build those towers, because they're not going to do jack all to the giants that are coming down. So that's the mountain giant special ability. Does a large damage to a building. Doesn't do it to units, he only does that a special attack to a building. But as you can see, that one mountain giant could probably take down 3 or 4 towers. You can see Ballista, he's doing quite a bit of damage to Chiron. They are good against infantry and not too bad against buildings. They are decent against buildings, but they're mostly effective against infantry. as you can see, building slow. I lost 3 or 4 towers, so I had to continuously keep rebuilding due to the slow building. Actually, if you're going to do it, send down a few units. It just saves building one. It probably cost me 5 minutes, and I could have prevented quite a lot of what is happening. So up this path, two sentry towers. They're building their force ready for another assault with the hill fort and a temple. As soon as you knock down that, the attacks do cease. So I do advise going up that path, destroying everything you need to. See, with the going on to the third task, we unlock these units, unlock more population room, which we're going to need. The Dwarven Forge there is more for looks. You can't upgrade out of it. It's quite disappointing, actually. So go destroy the hill fort. It doesn't have boiling oil, so it won't attack the units close up. It will attack Chiron, but you can move him in close so then he doesn't get hit. Because with minimal units that I'm coming in with, it's going to take a while. For the last siege, you are going to need battering rams, as you are basically sieging a town. On Titan and Hard, it is an imposing force, because you do need to go rescue someone, just like Helen of Troy. You do need to go rescue one of the heroes' daughters from a sentry tower. So we will need to go through a town to get there. So again, you train up a mixture of units. Throwing axemen, Radiant Cavalry, Earthsarks, Jarls, a couple of reaming galleries. So some myth units. I do recommend training up some trolls, being as their range, and coming up against giants. They're going to help destroy them. That little village there is destroyed. They're going to stop coming attacking that way, which protects this town as it is a source of population. We're now at 140, so we do have a bit of room to move. Going through the gate, it just progresses to part 3 of this mission. Another allied town needing assistance. So I'm bringing them back now because I've realised the trolls aren't going to spawn there. So it's kind of a waste with an army just sitting there. So bring them to this point. So then we progress to stage 3, which is again helping out the neighbouring town in rescuing one of their daughters. So just build up a force. You got plenty of gold to mine, so don't worry about running out of any gold. There's plenty in the map. It's up to you if you want to go to the Mythic Age. I don't think I did. But it's mainly the units I needed were in Heroic Age. Max out your population room and move on to the next neighbouring town. I'm just waiting for that gold mine to run out before I move on. Shouldn't take too long. Again, you have plenty of gold. 30,000 gold you've got access to. And the second village does grant you a market, so you got an infinite supply of gold. As soon as you get a market, there's an infinite supply. And I haven't mentioned this, but in the market you can trade food for wood and gold, and vice versa. You can sell your food for wood and gold. There is upgrades in there. It is taxed. You do get taxed on it, which is weird. So you could sell 100 food, and then you could only get 30 wood, 30 gold, and the more you do it, the bigger the difference. So this is the third neighbouring town, which we need to aid. Which there's only one way to go down here. You need to get to that tower in the bottom of the map, destroy the tower, and free the daughter. As soon as you do that, the mission's over. But the town you're about to go through is quite difficult. Try and knock down that wall as quick as possible, because it will upgrade to a stone wall if you're too slow. Same with the towers, they will upgrade to a watchtower. So as soon as you do that, knock down the gate, so that you don't have to worry about knocking down a stone one. Extra resistance. Knock down these sentry towers before they do have time to upgrade to a watchtower. Constantly you will be attacked by giants, so over time, so either they go upgrading to stone. As soon as you attack, they implement the upgrades. So knock down the sentry towers before they do have time to upgrade to the next part, and basically cause a nuisance. Couple of hill forts, couple of temples. Knock out the temples to restrict any further giants from spawning. Knock out the town centre. Knock out the sentries before they can upgrade to a watchtower. Another hill fort there, couple of houses. So the temples will restrict the amount of myth units they will train. So just wander your way around the town. Destroy the temples, destroy the hill forts, town centre, and then move on to the sentry tower, which has now been upgraded to a watchtower at this point. Keep a couple of rams. I think all my rams might have died. Well, one alive. So knock these down. Knock down the temple to make sure no myth unit spawns. There's the tower. It does start off as a sentry tower. Being as though it's been too long, it's upgraded to a watchtower, but it's a single watchtower. It's not going to do anything. I just knocked down these temples in case they were to spawn more myth units and just cause a bit more of a headache. But that's the gist of this town. On moderate, it wasn't too bad. You will need a force to get through. Quickly knock down this gate. That's the last upgrade. So I must have missed a temple somewhere, because here comes another mountain giant. Doesn't take too long to knock down this gate and the watchtower. Watchtower is at 550 health. There's nothing to it. And then you rescue, I think her name's Greta. She does have a model. You never use her, and mission's finished with the rescue. 27 here, the well of Erd, or however you want to pronounce it. All you basically have to do is get to the well, and it will transport you into the underworld. There's already a bunch of farms preset for you to use, so just quickly gather them. Do what I'm doing here with the Ascarl. You will need to build up some wall defences, as there is multiple entry points, and up here is your gold mine, which you will need. So just build a wall here that I'm doing. There's a couple other walls you'll need to build. I'll keep sending through a raiding cavalry. Again, it's just a scout. It's not going to attack anything. It's just going to see what's going on, basically. Just send up a couple of dwarves. Beware of that wolf. He will attack. That's your main entry point where I got the units there. Let's build up this wall here, and I'll build up another wall to get that extra layer of defense. I'll just knock this wolf out because I know he's going to attack the dwarves. They say Ascarls, they attack fairly quick and they do decent damage. And then you're going to want to go down here, build the wall here, and I think there's two other sections where I build the wall. There is a town just to the left there. You don't have to go through it, but I just went and destroyed it anyway a bit later on. There's the well there. As soon as you get close, Gargarensis will go into the well, so you don't fight him. Just back there where I was just there. That's where I'm going to build the next wall. And just keep this entry point here open. We do still have the 5 heroes. Atri and Brook haven't returned yet. I think they return in the next level. Okay, they're attacking there with nothing much, and you do have a healing hero, so that's no issue at the moment. This is the final section. Find the shortest point you can, like I am there. Build the wall, and just that extra layer of defense that you will need. It's not overly hard, this mission. It's more time consuming, as you do have to go through I think about 2 bases just to get to where you need to. Again, that raiding cavalry won't do anything. That's the final bit of wall. You will need to construct because you're Odin. As soon as you do build your temple, you will get gifted ravens, which you can use as scouts. They've only got about 60 health, so they die fairly quickly, but they're continuous respawn. As you see, you got plenty of resources. Your farm's already pre-built. Keep those tents. Try to keep as many tents as you can't build them. And they do add 10 population, so if they do get knocked in, you can't rebuild them. And again, with the wolves, I know they're hostile to the villagers, so just getting rid of them. This is the last point. You will want to build a wall if you need to, and just again leave that entry point open. Now, when the mountain giant there, due to him being effective against buildings, and you are going to come up against a few buildings, so I found it more helpful to go down his route. Again, the lag. I think I'll plug it into the charger fairly soon. And across the river here is just a relic. There's nothing over there. That's hostile, except the polar bear, I think. Go over there, collect the relic. We'll find out what it's about to do in a second. More resistant to pierce attacks. So it'll increase your pierce armor probably about 3%, which is not bad. And just be careful with this undermine god power. They do invoke there, it will knock down your entire wall. Now I lucked out a bit here, they didn't actually come through. So they sort of just wasted their god power, so I just built the wall up again pretty quickly. Because usually they invoke that, then they send their army through. So I lucked out a bit there. Just built the wall back up and like nothing happened really. As you can see, the ravens, they'll spawn if they die, they'll come back every 2-3 minutes. They just send them out again. Explore more of where you need to go, try and find entry points to the stronghold that you will need to siege. Just try and find the best entry. This is the town I was mentioning. Of course, got a couple of axemen. I think there's a mountain giant in there. So I just went and destroyed it a little bit later. I don't think I mentioned this, but to gain favour in the Norse, you can do it two ways. Have a bunch of Hesse heroes. They will generate favour, but they'll generate it very slowly. Or you go to battle, and going to battle will generate favour very quickly. That's the two ways that Norse gather favour, through the Hesses and battle. So the counter goes up to 1 with 1 Hesse trained. So the more you have trained, the quicker it will gather. You got 3 lines of gate defence you will need to break through to get to the well. So just have a couple of battering rams in your army. As when you go do siege, you will need a large force for this one, because there is quite a bit of resistance. Basically all I do with my heroes was a couple battering rams. This little resistance in this town, so that's all you need. If you do want to destroy this town, open up a new town centre and a long trade route. That was all the resistance in this little area. This opens up that a little bit extra if you are having troubles, that opens up that extra town centre, and a reasonable trade route is secure. As you see up there, there is a passage, a second, a third, fourth passage up to the main stronghold, but it's completely up to you if you want to destroy this little town that's here. It doesn't affect them attacking. They'll continue to attack from their main stronghold. When you do go attack, make sure you do have a good sized army and they are upgraded as far as you can go, because you're going to need it. The resistance in this level is quite high. Even on moderate, as you'll see, it is quite high resistance, being that you need to go through 3 separate walls just to get to the well. And when you do get to the well, the myth unit will spawn to basically protect it. You need to destroy them to finish the level. The axemen here, they don't last too long. I don't think I lose any units while protecting my town and building up my force to continue on. So you have access to the final gods. I'm going the wolf option, which is god power, is the Fimbulweather, which will, when activated in each enemy town, it will go cold. It will start to cause a blizzard, and those little foxes will spawn, and they are quite destructive. If you don't have a guarded town, they can destroy quite a few buildings, because they do have 180 health, and about 15 or so of them spawn, so they can be quite destructive. It is a good god power if you want to disrupt the enemy reduction. It is a good god power to use. I think I use this as I was sieging, so it's just an extra bunch of units that they've got to protect against. And the wolves are yours, so they're an ally. They're not an enemy to you. Seeing as you're invoking the god power, they're an ally, so they won't attack you if you do go siege and activate the god power. just activated the god power that I was just mentioning. It does go darker, and it will spawn all the wolves. You can activate it from anywhere on the map. You don't have to be in the section that you want. It is activated anywhere on the map, and it will immediately go towards their town centre as it has there. I just did it then to cause a distraction on my way through. Once it's over, the weather returns to normal. Any remaining wolves that haven't been killed will die. As you said, time activated. Once that time's up, every single wolf that spawned will die, even if they haven't been killed. As you just see in the top corner there, they just fall over and die. Try and get through the gates as quickly as possible so he doesn't have the chance to upgrade to the stone upgrade before you get through. It will probably be a stone wall on the final wall that you need to break through, but that's alright, seeing it's only one instead of the three. This is the army you come up against. As you can see, it is quite large. Try and keep your portable rams alive. Knock down as many longhouses as you can to prevent further infantry build up. That's the battle board there. It isn't too powerful, and it is a mechanical unit, as you might not see there. When a unit dies, they slowly decompose into the ground. If you do see a battle ball decomposing, not in a pile, you'll see that it's full of machinery. It is an actual machine unit, not a living organism. Let's quickly knock down these buildings. As you see, Gargarensis, he's already run into the well. As soon as you get close, he runs into the well. Knock down these units. There is a trait for Odin. As you would have seen, the Raiding Cavalry had that green glow over his head. If your unit is stationary, they will slowly regenerate their health. That is a trait from Odin. So if I was to say stationary for that longer period of time, all my units would regenerate to maximum health. You see the watchtowers, they are stronger. They do have additional HP. But again, that you have your battering rams, your mountain giants, or if you want the fire giant, just quickly knock them over. Destroy this gate. A bunch of myth units will spawn, but we've got our heroes there to deal with that issue. Keep them aside. Have your remaining force to knock out any enemies. And as you see, they're trying to rebuild. As soon as you knock that down, a couple of fire giants, an Enigma will spawn. Defeat those 4 units, and that's basically the end of the mission. We'll go on to 28, which it's a short mission. The next 3 levels are actually quite short. As soon as we knock them over, victorious. the main mission, main part of this mission is to stop the gate opening again, the Tartarus gate opening again. All your gold will be down in the underworld. So, as you see, your heroes are already there. Send your dwarves and your ox cart down. And we'll go into this little section here, which is where all your gold is. There is, out on the surface, there is a town which will constantly attack you. Being on moderate, they weren't too bad, but on the high ones they do get a bit frequent, so you can go and destroy that town. On this walkthrough I didn't. I just let it be. You will need a mixture of units for this level, as through the entire way to the ram. Again, you encounter resistance. You start off with low resources, and the food is quite thin. Same with the wood, it is a little bit thin. So you are on a time limit. Eventually the damage to Tartarian Gate will spawn at about 10 or 30. And when that gets to 100 you do lose. So again, there is a time limit on this level. So just keep that in mind. You will need a considerable force to get to the gate, as you will encounter a large quantity of myth units and infantry and cavalry units, as they are protecting it quite well. You don't need to destroy the ram. As I said, you only need to destroy the 5 or 6 fire giants that are guarding the ram, and once you defeat them, the mission is completed. It doesn't take too long, this mission. I think it only took me 15 or so minutes. This level, the next level, and the following level took me an hour combined to do, which you've seen in previous ones. Sometimes takes an hour just to do one level. So that's why the 6 fire giants there. Taking down the gate. As you see, the health of the gate does come off. It doesn't actually say how much damage the ram does, but I had a look at it. It is doing about 150 damage per swing. You do have some time to get there, but again, as soon as it gets to 100, you do fail. So just keep that in mind. You are on a time limit for this level. Brook and E-Tree, I think they appear in the next level. As you construct Thor's hammer in mission 29. It's an easy mission as well. 30 is another time limit based mission. For the next 3 levels are time based. The Norse is also the shortest. Also, the next campaign, as it's only 2 missions, the final Greek is the shortest, but this one is the second shortest, 3.5 hours. This one compared to the Egyptian, which was 5.5 hours, so Norse is the shorter section of the campaign, but I find it the most enjoyable, as you do get basically every single hero in the campaign at your disposal, except for Setna, but he's no real loss to begin with. The percent damage to Tartarian Gate, 10. So you do have some time. If I had to guess how much time you had, you probably have maybe 45 minutes to build up that force, which is plenty of time for what you need. But if it is on hard or Titan, that neighbouring town on the surface, does cause a nuisance. So if you were to go destroy that, as you see there they are there, light blue colour. If you were to go destroy that, it would make your life a lot easier. I did on moderate. They're not actually too bad on moderate. I'm just using Chiron to scout out any areas that I need to be aware of. As you can see, there's only 1 point of entry, and that's directly ahead. I'll just ward off this in case they decided to do a little sneaky around the side, but they didn't. They'll attack from that one central point, and there's no point around. You can't get around, as you see by the cliffs. They are further up on the map. The light blue, I don't know what culture they are. I think they're most likely Loki. It's where Thor, again, access to the Dwarven Forge. You start off in the heroic age, so you do have access to quite an immense units already. Just build up your resources, build up your army. When you believe it's strong enough, go find the access to the gate. You will encounter high resistance, so just be wary of that. some behind immediately we encounter a few fire giants, which they're going to cause some issues against your standard infantry. So just be wary. The first thing you will encounter on the way through to the gate is fire giants. Don't worry about that boulder wall. You don't need to attack it or anything. Keep some units behind because you will get attacked, as I mentioned before. So we killed those 4 fire giants. We did take heavy casualties. So just be wary of that assaulting fire giants against standard infantry. As you see there, we took quite heavy casualties right at the start, which is not something that is ideal. But we're just going to have to deal with it. The gates are down 30%, so 15 minutes in, 30%, going by that timeline, 45 minutes to 50 minutes is probably the time limit for this level. You see there's tons of gold around. I think there is there is 2 ways. I'm going the high road to the ram. There is a low road. If you follow the path just to the left down, you will come to the lower part of the army. As you see there, it's a decent sized army. So keep training the units because you largely will need to send more down, as the fire giants alone are tough. I don't think I went through with a large enough force. I probably should have invoked the frost power here just to freeze them up and do that extra damage while they can't inflict any at all. So you do run into quite high resistance on this level. Again, they're attacking me. They're not attacking with much. A couple of raiding cavalries and Earthsarks, but they're only standing. They don't have any armor upgrades, so you dispose of them easily. So that's the low road to the left there, through to the ram. Basically, have your normal infantry attacking the enemies, and have your heroes knocking out those fire giants. Because as soon as you knock those fire giants out, it's over. That little boulder wall that you'll just seen down there at the bottom there, don't worry about that. The enemy will break through it right at the end of the mission. And the fire giants are just dead, and we move on to the next one. As you see, 17 minutes to defeat this level. Don't worry about the ram. And there's the myth unit spawning through, and basically you've got to retreat. It is a little bit sad here. You do lose Chiron. He knocks down that boulder wall to protect you, and being as there's about 10 fire giants, he doesn't last too long, and he sacrifices himself to aid your escape. So that is the last mission you will have with Chiron. He is now dead, which is disappointing because he is a good hero. So this mission here, it's very straightforward. If you do mine gold, you do get reinforcements sent down to you. But again, time limit, you need to cut through that route as quick as possible. I found the easiest is just instruct your heroes here to follow the path, because each tree will spawn in the right hand corner of the map, so you need to reignite both pieces. I just found it easier to send your heroes here off first to basically clear a path, because there will be enemies on that path. Clear the path so you can easily just transport both pieces together. As soon as you hit 400 gold, you will get reinforcements. It's usually axemen, jarls, and additional dwarves. They're completely up to you if you want resources. Reinforcements, or you can just quickly chop down the taproot, as you see, 4,000 per hit. So they're doing 1 per hit, 400 at the surface. We get some reinforcements units. You need to get one piece of the weapon to the other side. This one I just kept them stationary. I didn't move them, and I just had my heroes here create a path all the way to Eitri, so I can get both pieces back together. It's not too difficult. Something that I forgot to do, keep Reganleaf behind, because they will send a Nidhogg through, and she's the only one who can defeat the Nidhogg. So when you clear that little bit of enemy just there, send her back, or keep your heroes back for the time being until that Nidhogg does come through, and you can destroy it before it lays waste to your army, because those units I have there, they're all about to die. Because I forgot that a Nidhogg does come through, kills them all. It will kill all your dwarves. Some all sent through. Get them to chop down that taproot as soon as you're done with these minions. I should have sent my heroes back, but I didn't, so I did lose a bit of units coming up. So that's my advice there. If you do go through there, as soon as you get to this point where I am here, send them back, because the Nidhogg will come through and basically lay waste to everything that's down there. The only units you will encounter in this level is myth units, so your heroes will come in very handy. As you can see there with where the ram is, you can't lay siege to it. You're not strong enough. The Cyclopses here, they cause a bit of grief. I mainly just finished these two gold mines. I think I might have moved up to the next one, then just instructed all my dwarves to chop at the taproot, because it is time. There's no timer, as you see here, but it is a timed mission. You only have a certain amount of time before the enemy will break through a rock wall that Chiron put down. So there's the Nidhogg there. If I just set them back a bit earlier. That is the Nidhogg, King of the Dragons, basically. It is only summoned through a god power. It is quite strong. It has some considerable health. And Reganleaf can destroy 2,500 health, as you see there. It does have a large amount of health, and it does do area damage with its fire. So I lost all my throwing axemen, and she does maybe 100 damage or so per throw. 400 another earth. So I mainly just keep those reinforcements as when they break through that rock wall, they just have to go through them before they get any further, basically. As soon as you knock out this Nidhogg, you can continue on your path. As you see there, I'm about halfway. The Nidhogg won't do much damage to your hero, seeing as I'm standing next to the healing spring. They're probably only doing 10 damage. But it does take a while, seeing as there's only one unit that can attack it. So I've got one more set of reinforcements to come down until I just instruct all my dwarves to chop at the taproot, which I finished this mission with plenty of room to spare, basically. So it's already basically half dead, and I've only got 4 or 5 dwarves on it. So as soon as you instruct all your dwarves that you have at your disposal to it, it will get cut down fairly quickly. Then you just need to transport that to Eitri up at the top corner. The Nidhogg's basically dead now. Did no damage. I was standing near the healing spring, so it was doing nothing basically. So I just finished off that gold mine and just told them all to cut down the taproot. Destroy the ox cart. I didn't need it anymore. I didn't actually need these dwarves anymore, so I just deleted the ox cart. I had no use for it. And if you go up to that right side path up the top, you will come in contact with some trapped heroes. Just the hairsayers. You don't need to rescue them. They are a few of them trapped around the map, but they only have, being as though you're in the Arctic Age, they only do about 2 damage, so they're kind of pointless. It's just a bit of waste of time. Zimandra is probably going to die again. She's possibly the hero that I have that dies the most. It's just annoying. She's my least favourite hero with her and Setna, so Egyptian doesn't really give you decent heroes. As you see that they've broken through, and I've basically cut through that taproot already. So your heroes won't be able to deal with the resistance that's coming through. You can't fight them off, even if you do mine all the gold in the area. You will not have an army big enough. So just do what I'm doing. Just have your heroes there to create a path, a safe path to Eitri. Then you can just, as soon as you get the piece of Thor's hammer cut out, you can just send it straight to Eitri, the shaft, and then you send. On this one, I actually didn't keep any army behind. I just sent them straight to Eitri, and they're quick enough. Mountain giants are slow, so you are quick. You're going to be quicker than them anyway, so they'll never catch. You send them directly to Eitri, and then the path is clear. So it's pretty straightforward. This mission, 10 minutes to complete. You can go quicker if you don't worry about any reinforcements. On moderate, you didn't really need them, but it's up to you if you want to train reinforcements. You don't have to mine the gold for the reinforcements. You can instruct all dwarves to the taproot. But as you've seen there, with one of the 400 gold gifts to the surface, you do get 6 or 7 dwarves. So you can go a little bit quicker. But yeah, they're not going to catch me. I'm already finished the mission. So this mission, it's a defensive mission to start with. Follow down this chasm, and you will come across the town. You do get Broken Tree back, so you're almost at maximum hero strength with the loss of Chiron. He's a considerable loss. It is a little bit sad that he is now gone, as you would have seen throughout the majority of the mission. He was very good. Now the 3 points of entry for this town, which I'll show you how to wall them off. I do recommend using Broken Tree at the start to gather supplies. I think I instructed them together. The gold that's there, as you can see, 2 large gold mines, so 12,000 gold off the bat. There's plenty of trees around. Food, there's wolves and bears, as you've seen there, littered throughout this area. You got to hold out for about 10-12 minutes. Not directly 10-12 minutes. There is a little point when the countdown starts. As you see, there's 3 separate sections that they do recommend to wall off. Your woods down to the left and down below the map. I kept my heroes at the middle part of the defense because it's the easiest to defend at, and I just literally 3-4 walls at each of the side passages and just littered it with towers. You will need a bit of wood and gold to construct these towers, as you'll need them to build the walls and the watchtowers. Basically, just do what I do here: wall off in front of each watchtower multiple times, so they're going to have to get through to those walls to get to your towers. The middle protection, I just did the one wall with gates for my heroes and units to access through, as the easiest point to defend it, as it is a larger area and they don't get in each other's way. So the 2 side ones I just littered with towers and walls as the protection, so if they do break through, I do have time to bring my units over and to knock out any attackers. This mission probably takes about 20 or so minutes. You gotta wait for Odysseus to bring his army to the left of the map, and then you use that massive army that he brings to take the fight to Gargarensis. So the time being is just get your villagers and your doors and gatherers up and running. Build as quick as possible. As you probably notice, I like to build with 1 unit at a time. I don't know why, it's just an OCD thing. I just like to build slowly on certain things, apart from the wonder, because the wonder takes forever. Yeah, but you do use Broken Tree at your disposal, because they can gather resources. So you see there's multiple walls they need to break through to get to the town, and you litter them with towers, so it's less likely going to destroy them fairly quickly. That's the giant hole that you made when you destroyed the Tatarian gate, the Edimedian door. Gargarens is at the top of the map, so for the time being you don't go assault him. It's a waste of time at this point. You do take the fight to him at the end of the mission. For the time being, just build up your resources, build up your defences, because there is a trigger point where it'll go to a cutscene, and from that cutscene, the countdown will begin. So you got probably about 5 or so minutes to build up your defenses here before it goes to the cutscene and the countdown actually does begin. So just go as quick as possible. Use anything to your advantage. Build up your units. You're going to need a mixture of units because they're going to send Greek and Norse units at you. So they're going to send archers, throwing axemen, battle balls, cyclopses, and a variety of horses. So to have a mixture of units, not just the Hesse heroes. You're going to need multiple Earthsearch raiding cavalries and throwing axemen in this mission. You need a large variety of different units to comfortably complete this mission. So from that cutscene on, the countdown will begin. As you see, they've got to defend for 20 minutes, so it is a large defense mission. I'm not sure if you would have noticed, but did you notice that Gargarensis did not speak in that cutscene? So just keep that in the back of your mind. It is a little strange because he's usually the one that does do the talking. So I don't know if something's up here. But as you see, they have heavily guarded the two sides for the time being. They do worship Helmdale, so they do have the I can't remember what it's called, but it takes down the walls very quickly and does affect buildings like your towers and your hill forts as well. So that right side at the moment is heavily guarded. Eventually, as it goes on, it does get more difficult. They will send through battering rams as the siege units to knock down the walls to get through. So just keep that in mind. Continually train units because you're going to need them. Because 20 minutes, it is a large defensive time. It's being on moderate. It still was a little difficult on moderate. On Titan, it's very extremely hard. Being as there's mission 30, there's only 2 more missions after this. Then I did say I was going to put the Titans expansion up after this Age of Mythology. I'll keep that in production for now, and I'll move on to Lego The Incredibles, which will be our next video. That will be a complete walkthrough of the entire mission, Chrome Waves, getting all the mini kits and all the red bricks and basically everything that's involved with the Incredibles, and we 100% the game. So that will be the next game that we do. So just keep in mind, continually build. Now the units up, continually construct towers at the 2 side points and defend with your heroes at the middle point, as it's easier access. And if you are struggling on the 2 sides, you can quickly get your army around without any hassles, and you do get gifted a ballista there. So basically from this point on, just defend the best you can. Keep your resources so that a high area. As you see, there's some Greek units coming through. You see the Cyclops, so instruct all your towers to hit the Cyclops. The archers are a bit out of range, so I do eventually just build towers closer so they can access the archers that come through. They won't attack with Egyptian units, they will only attack with Norse and Greek units. So there's no Egyptian units to worry about in this mission. But they will eventually attack with portable rams. They don't. I think they might come with ballistas, which are a pain in the neck. You do get gifted one there. Quickly knock out those archers, and I think I build a couple, repair the wall, and I build a couple of towers, more towers. I think eventually at this one side here I've got about like 15-20 towers. So it's basically a fortress. Yeah, that sometimes does happen. They come to that one point, realise I'm not going to be able to get through there anytime soon, so they will back off and go to the middle point at each side. If they do back away, they will be coming to the central defence point, which is why I keep my army there. Because it's kind of random. Sometimes they will attack like they did before, and this time they will run to this one. Realise that one's hard, so they go try the next one. Realise that one's even worse, we'll just attack it anyway. But it's littered with towers. Battle balls, they do have high hack and pierce armour, so continuously put up towers like I am there. Constantly repair the walls. Do the wall upgrade from your town centre. and the building upgrade, which increases hit points on your buildings. So luckily I came through just then, because that gate was about to crumble. Lure them back here. You run through the wall like a ghost, like the hoplite and the spearman did back at mission I think 11. And yeah, just defend for the remaining 15 minutes, and like that's the upgrade I was just telling you about. It increases hit points on buildings, so get them as powerful as you can. They attack with multiples, different units. It's not constantly the same ones. As the timer goes down further, it does get more difficult. They will send through harder units to dispose of, and they will inflict their god power. So just have infantry on the standby to do quick repairs here and there, and have multiple walls, because they're going to have to break through that first wall as a tower, then they have to break through the secondary wall just to get to the towers. So at that time they've already suffered severe damage. So just wait the 13 odd minutes we've got left now until Odysseus comes. As you can see, 3 portable rams they've brung through. So if they did choose to attack there, they would probably get all the way through the defences. I've got tons of towers there already. They've knocked down the walls a few times. Just repair them, just rebuild. Or they come back to the central point. Have your army there. I've got 2 hill forts there as that extra defences. They'll come to this point. The army that they bring is bigger, 2 battle boars, a bunch of jarls, and the portable rams. Against the units, portable rams do like 1 damage. Against myth units, they can become quite effective against myth units at times. If you've got 5 portable rams against 1 cyclops, those portable rams are likely going to win, because they do additional damage to myth units. They get defeated. You got Regan Leaf there. This is the last mission you had with her. Same with Etrian Brook. This is the final mission. You do get access to those heroes, and you go back to the basic 3 for the remaining 2 missions. Just keep upgrading your units. You don't need siege units for this level, so I do advise don't worry about them. They're coming again, but the defense here is quite powerful. They're not going to inflict much damage. As you can see, they're basically dead already, because the amount of towers I got, they're not going to last long. So they lasted maybe 5-10 seconds. That little army. The north side will attack in greater numbers. So here's Odysseus. That's the army he brings. As you can see, it is a massive army, full of Hyteri and Mydrons. I probably didn't pronounce them right, but the counter units. And he does bring through a large supply of resources, but the army he brings through is enough to conquer where you're going. As you see, the force he brings through, it's massive. So upgrade your armories, your champion units, plenty of towers around. Keep it, again, I'd say keep an army back. because I do have to come back a couple of times because they are about to break through. But I think I just sent back through my horses due to their higher speeds. A couple of Huskarls there from the first siege have just backed away, and they just basically just stayed there. You will encounter giants there, Odin, a neutral ally. I sent the ballista back due to his slow speed will slow down your entire army, and I just didn't want them to go slow. I thought I might have been able to get 2 Gargarensis before they lay siege again, but as you see, they do have some portable rams, so I did have to send, I think, most of my units back. I sent the whole army back just to dispose of what's coming. But the large army I have there, there's no match. There's no match for anything. Quickly dispose of them. See the battle board there? Its special ability does kick away a few units in the vicinity. It won't kick away heroes. go back to where you're going, encounter the load resistance on your way there. The army you have there isn't much resistance for it, up to Gargarensis, in inverted commas, Gargarensis. If you remember what I said about the cutscene, how he didn't actually speak. As you said, they're doing the undermine core power, which basically wiped that whole area out. I was going to leave it, then I thought, nah, I better go back because my towers won't be able to destroy those portable ramps before they get to my town. So I just sent back the horses, rebuilt the walls. I know I didn't need to rebuild the towers, but I just did anyway. As you can see there, the portable rams causing some headaches, and yeah, quick units back. Yeah, Hitaris. And send them back, destroy the rams, then continue on with attacking the so-called Gargarensis. Rebuild the wall like I'm doing there, just in case. I don't think they do attack again, as I'm about to lay siege to their defences. Select the entire army. If you're on the base game, it does have an army limit of 30 per selection, but being extended, they upgraded that, so you can select hundreds of units in one go instead of the 30 limit that's on the original base game. As you can see there, I didn't need to build the towers. I just something to do. Gargarensis is just up here. And behind his little defence, there's not much resistance there. We quickly dispose of it without any issues really. Only thing that caused a problem there was the Cyclops. But again, they didn't last too long with the amount of centaurs we have. doing the additional damage. And when you knock them out, go attack Gargarensis. You don't actually kill him, it's a trigger point on his health again. As soon as you touch him, he's defeated. And that brings the conclusion of the Norse campaign. So I hope you enjoyed that. The next one is the final Greek, which is the final 2 missions. And then I will upload the entire full game, which is about 10-12 hours. And then we move on to the Lego The Incredible. So I hope you, again, enjoyed this walkthrough. Leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Anything you want to know, leave me a comment about the game. If you're playing it and you're having some dramas, let me know and I'll try and help it as much as you can. And I'll see you on the next video.